In brief, what is the substance of this SI and its significance?
Well, Farai, let's start with the background. With specific reference to title deeds, there was a lot of criminality and misconduct. Now, remember, title deeds are very important for the economy. If a bank wants to advance you a loan, they will take your title deed in order to securitize the loan.
Unfortunately, it's our nature that sometimes we want to leave things to the last minute or miss deadlines. If someone does not comply, what are the implications?
The deadline is 24 months. It's not a lot of time.
Sure.
I think it's something that more suitably can be done by conveyancers. They are familiar with the systems. It's imperative that people actually comply with this so that you don't fall foul of the law.
Well, today I'm joined by Fortune Chasi, and we are breaking down a recently gazetted statutory instrument, SI 76 of 2025, which is the Deeds and Registries Regulations for 2025, repealing previous regulations from 2018. Mr. Chasi, great to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, we know that recently this SI was passed, and it has implications particularly on title deeds. Before we get into the details, the nuts and bolts, in brief, what is the substance of this SI and its significance?
Well, Farai, let's start with the background. Why government found it necessary to take this step. In my view, it's a master stroke. It's in line with the government program towards digitization, paperlessness, but with specific reference to title deeds. There was a lot of criminality and misconduct. If you remember, in the not too distant past, Dr. Mtumbuka, a former education minister, just after independence, lost his house. And a lot of the basis on which he lost his house had something to do with the collusion and criminality. So I think this has been a problem. There's been problems of fraud, problems of disappearing title deeds, and a lot of other things that never used to happen before. Collusion between criminals, some who actually bring what appears to be a genuine identity document. They go to somebody who has an office somewhere that addresses and appears like a lawyer. They carry out a transfer. So I think by way of background, that is critical. Now remember, title deeds are very important for the economy. If a bank wants to advance you a loan, they will take your title deed in order to securitize the loan. Now, imagine you get $1 million, but the title deed is fake. It's fraudulent. They carry out checks with the deeds registry. Imagine if your title deed doesn't exist, because maybe when you bought the property, you were just sold a piece of paper. So this is, I think, a very critical step that government has taken.
So what is the new regulation?
Well, basically the new regulation speaks to a requirement for everyone with property that is registered to present their title deeds to the deeds office so that they are digitized. So I think it will be very difficult for everybody to be taking their title deeds to the deeds office. I think it's something that more suitably can be done by conveyancers. They are familiar with the systems. the deeds office will deal with a smaller number of people.
Yeah. Because you can imagine millions
Yeah,
and millions
million
of people.
yeah.
Across, yeah.
So you can, the deadline is 24 months. It's not a lot of time.
Sure. It
Yeah.
does fly by.
It does, and if you look at the time frame that has been given and the enormity of the task, there is a lot of logistical work that will be necessary. And one hopes that the deeds office has made the necessary preparations for this, but it is a good thing. So you take your title deed, you also take a copy, and it's advisable to keep your own copy, because remember, the system is not yet digitized.
Yeah. It's a process.
It's a process, so anything can happen. God forbid there could be a fire, or in the morass of the deeds that are being submitted, your deed could be misplaced.
Yeah.
I think that's a broad brush of what this really is about. Yeah.
Okay. So, as you've alluded to now, if I'm a property owner, what I need to do now is to ensure that within the next 24 months, or before 24 months are up, I have submitted my paper title deeds for them
Yes.
to be digitized.
Yes.
And as you're quite rightly, as you've said, perhaps to go through someone who has expertise or knowledge of how this is done.
Yes, and I think also other organizations that could be important or useful are estate agents. They interface with buyers and sellers, but even they will not have direct access to the deeds office. And I think a more centralized approach would be going through law firms. We have conveyancing departments who deal with the deeds office every day. They've analyzed this law, they know what is required, and they have systems to handle this. Some have already undergone training around digital conveyancing. So to me, that is the most logical way of handling this program.
Okay. Now, as you quite rightly say as well, this is meant to curb issues of fraud and just to verify, to improve the process of verification. If I wanted to verify now, I mean, obviously there's this process now, but if I wanted to just make sure that as I submit this, I am not holding chidura, as people would say, a piece of paper, as you say. Can I still do that, and how would I go about doing that?
Well, it's very manual. It's paperful as opposed to paperless. You have got to go to the deeds office, fill in the details, leave them. It's not something that you can do instantaneously. It's done. They come back to you and say, okay, we've checked this title deed. I've just done it this morning. I had to send somebody to go to the deeds registry to go and check on a specific property. But how good is it when you can now just enter the system, enter, say, my name and the property description, and see whether their mortgage is registered on it, and then get back to me and say, well, I can't buy this property until you clear what is on there. Imagine also the convenience for the financial services sector and the speed with which they can do these things if they're able also to interface with the system and check what the position is. But one thing that we need to remember is that we've also had problems with the company's registry regarding missing files. So you are trying to establish who owns Chassis Incorporated. You go there, the file is empty because the annual returns, the CRA 14s and other returns are not in the file, and that creates a problem. So what I'm trying to say is there is a link between the integrity of our identification system, our deeds registry system, as well as our company's registry. The good thing with IT is that everyone who enters into the system will leave a footprint. But if it's manual, somebody will just pull the papers and shred them.
And you'll never know
And
who it
you'll
is.
never know who it is.
The migration to IT, obviously good from a convenience, access point of view, but it also then has potential threats, cybercrime. So the same way that these manual systems can be manipulated, we're also in an age where people could equally, potentially, we hope not, but potentially access the system, the databases, and play around with that data.
Yeah, fortunately, government has enacted cybersecurity laws and regulations and laws that have got to do with the data privacy. And so it's a dangerous territory. But beyond the law, one hopes that the system that has been put in place is a system that is technically robust and secure to deal precisely with that problem, because some people will try and do that. They will try and malign the system, destroy the data if they're desperate or for fun. They do it in other countries, just like they hack into banks or companies. They can still try and do that. So I am not knowledgeable about the security features of the system, but I have no doubt that government, through its experts, has made sure that the system is sound and secure, and that it's not a one-day process. They will continue to improve the security of the system. That is critically important, because now if somebody can enter into the system and they are sufficiently skilled and they alter my name to yours, suddenly you own a property and I no longer own a property. So of course that's an exaggeration, but it is possible for people to do that, but also to guard against the danger of making private information public. If you have 20 houses, that's your business.
Yeah.
I have no business getting into the system and extrapolating that data and writing an article about the property.
Chassis, 50.
And now everyone starts saying, okay, I want to open marriage.
Yeah.
And that creates a problem. So I think the data integrity is very, very important. The protection of the details that are contained in there. People must have confidence that whatever they own is known only to them and to those that they need to divulge that information, or those that are lawfully enabled to access that data.
In the case that you cited the case of former Minister Mtumbuka.
Yes.
Say someone in this entire process, I find an anomaly, for instance, where my title deed or a property that I thought I owned, I didn't have. I don't have because it's in someone else's name. What sort of recourse would that be? Would I need to go to the courts? And, obviously people would think that's complicated. It's now a lot of money that I need to. How best, is there a way, a people-friendly, maybe an easier way for me to have some recourse and say, look, guys, this is what's happened to me?
I think it will depend on the nature of the problem that is in issue. But generally speaking, one would say in order to regularize the records at the deeds registry, you may have to go to court. You may have to launch a court application where you obviously cite the registrar of deeds and any other interested person, so that the world actually knows that there is an anomaly, and the registrar of deeds will not just make alterations to a deed. Oh, sorry, your spelling is wrong. Let me know. If the records are not correct, the registrar of deeds will act only on the basis of a court order. So, yes, granted, it may imply some costs, but those are necessary costs. But of course, if one is able to establish negligence on the part of the registrar, then that's an entirely different matter. But of course, the situation begs the question to say, if somebody brings an ID, a metal one that looks genuine, to a conveyancer, what else can they do to establish that this is in fact the correct
person?
Yeah, I mean, we have had situations where somebody's an ID with their face with somebody else's details, and they go and do funny things in a bank. But one must hasten to say that given that we now have some knowledge of some of these things that are happening, it means that everyone involved in the process, particularly conveyancers and the deeds registry, need to be extra careful. You can never be presumptuous to say, okay, there's an ID, Saka, it's okay. Do whatever you can. That includes estate agents. Do whatever you can to verify that the person appearing on those documents is the correct person. We've had people gallivanting in Paranato Hospital as doctors.
As doctors, yeah.
Some at Rottenrow as lawyers. Smartly dressed like most of better than
winning
us.
Cases.
And winning cases, So it just means that so you find even sometimes the courts can ask to see your practicing certificate. It can appear rude and all that, but it's necessary for our systems to have integrity, to make sure that this is a legally or medically qualified person that we're dealing with.
Which ties into the point you made earlier, where it is integral that all these systems of identification, company registration, and indeed deeds registry are digitized and integrated. Unfortunately, it's our nature that sometimes we want to leave things to the last minute or miss deadlines. If someone does not comply or misses his 24-month deadline, what are the implications?
I think, the implications are that you may not have your title deed in the system. I think that's the
big
most basic. So in the event that you want to deal in it, you want to get a loan, you want to dispose of it, you are not in the system.
So you lose those rights.
Yeah, so I think it's imperative that people actually comply with this, at least to have submitted the required documentation, so that you don't fall foul of the law. And when the deed is submitted, there must be some evidence that you have submitted. Yeah. Normally, under cover of a letter, you submit and you get a date stamp signed by the deeds office. They also have their record system where they record what is coming in and what is going out. So you do need a document proving that you have submitted, so that if there is need for follow-ups, you do so. And like I said, the best way is to use conveyancers. I think they have a more direct approach to the deeds registry. They understand the systems. They have proper record keeping systems. They will have your file in their office, and they will communicate with you in writing to say, this is what we've done, this is the outcome, or blah blah, and you'll have your own file at home where you keep these things.
I think something else that I've also noted is then once you surrender this paper one, you then can't have two. I can't say I want to keep my paper deed and also have this electronic one. So what form will that take? So when we hear digitization, am I getting a token, an image on my phone, or is it now a paper deed but with more security features? What is it
I
that
think
I'll have?
it will. I haven't seen it, but obviously it will have to have security features.
More enhanced.
To make sure that if one scans a particular feature on it, they're able to see that this is actually a genuine title deed, and because you then have your own soft copy. If you have your USB, that where you want to save your 20 title deeds, you can do so and label it. But additionally, you would still you can still print a copy for your own, records. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chasi. Anything else you might want to add on? I think any other salient points or highlights, particularly about this new regulation?
Yeah, I think the major highlight is really the need to comply with the law. The earlier one submits their title deed, the better. Once you wait for too long and there's a floodgate situation at the deeds registry, such as one would expect will happen, it will become more difficult. So be the early bird that catches the early worm.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And as you said, this is a step in the right direction, in line with global standards, and just enhancing the security and efficiency.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been great speaking to you.
All right. Thank you.
Look forward to having you back to discuss and unpack more issues.
Anytime.
That's been Fortune Chasi, a legal expert, breaking down the contents and substance of SI 76 of 2025. That is the Deeds Registries regulations of 2025. Thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. Please engage with us on our various digital and social media platforms. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, it's bye for now.